Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with this, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. So this lesson is about reharmonization. That means we're going to take an existing song and we're going to find new chords to play over the same melody. Now, that means that you're probably going to need to already know about chords and keys and probably intervals, and probably have already several songs that you can play well enough that they actually sound like the song. But even if you can't do that, you might pick up some interesting theory bits along the way. So feel free to join us. The goal, though, is not this song. It's not about the song that we're working on. It's really about taking the concepts you like, the reharmonizations, the substitutions that you like from this lesson, and then applying them to other songs that you already know how to play. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside, so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. In traditional lessons, a teacher is going to actually present some new concept for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every couple weeks. The rest of the time is going to be spent applying and refining those concepts. Well, here I'm spouting off hours of new information every week, so it's totally unreasonable to expect you to actually absorb all of that. Instead, the goal of these live lessons is for you to find some little nugget of something that makes sense, but is a bit of a challenge, and for you to go practice it, because practice is where all the improvement's going to happen. So don't feel bad if you have to leave the live lesson when you find that little thing that you're going to practice. And of course, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the live lessons or replay in the archives as much as you want. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Kloppel Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And thankfully, I think that's about all we need to cover before the lesson. So if you'd stick around afterwards and fill out the survey, I would love your feedback. But for now, let's have some fun and make some music. Welcome back, y'all. I am excited and terrified. This could go horribly, horribly wrong tonight. But anyway, it can't be worse than the transcribing lesson on this song. That one did not feel right at all. This is the incomparable Kendra moderating the chat room, though.
Guess what? Okay, so remember how I am working on a story just for fun? Okay.
Right, that you have 50,000 words in or something.
Yeah, now I have 60,000 words.
Of course you do.
I wrote 10,000 words this week. But I have school, so.
Do you feel like you're a percentage done with this thing, or is this the first chapter?
I want to get to 100,000 words. So.
Because of the number or because of the story?
Well, no, because I'm writing a young adult fiction book, so I want it to be 100,000 words because that's the average. But if it's a little less or a little more, that's okay.
How does the story feel?
What do you mean? I know where it's going.
Do you feel like you're about 60% done with the story?
Well, this will be my first draft, so I'll probably have more drafts after that. But
okay, wow,
it's getting there because I know the beginning isn't. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, I guess we'll see. Well,
I could talk for hours about that.
I believe you. Yes. Well, this might be really quick, so we might need some filler here for the end of this lesson. This goes how I'm afraid it is. So this is Stevie Wonder. We've already talked about how to play all the notes, how to play all the chords, and how to get through this song normally. Go ahead and go to the far shot if you would. So if you don't know how to play that already and you're wanting to play along with me, you're going to need to go back to some of the other tutorial lessons. And we've talked before about how weird Stevie Wonder's stuff is just melodically and harmonically, even though like this is pretty much like straight through the circle of fifths. The way that he connects all the chords and the melodies and stuff in there is really unique. So trying to reharmonize this already weird song and make it even weirder, it just seems like an exercise in super weirdness. But what we can do is the opposite of that. We just take this thing and we go, all right, if this was a reharmonized song, if I'd never heard this thing before, found it on YouTube, and assumed that someone had messed with all the chords, what do I think the original chords would have been? Then thanks to Mark for the idea of the title of deharmonizing a song. So we're going to try to take this thing and reverse engineer it into its simplest original form, of which, of course, we're just making all this up as if we were reharmonizing it. But we're going to try to go backwards on this thing. So in general, this thing is in the key of G flat, as we've already talked about before. And specifically, it tends to hang out a lot on like this E flat minor thing that we talked about, that thing. And a lot of the chords and stuff, especially this guy in here, has a lot of B flat-ish type of stuff, like the tritone subs of B flat. That might not make any sense, but we'll get into that stuff here. Let's first play it the original way. Your track is just Kendra singing the melody along with the drum track that we created last week in the layering and orchestrating lesson. So this is, I'm just going to play through the chords the way that we started out originally, in case you've never heard the song before and you haven't listened to any of the previous lessons. This is what the song would sound like if we played it the right way.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out in vain, just taking the things that we're having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
That's what we started with. So, Kendra, you get to jump in here for a lot of this. If you get some suggestions in the chat room, then that's cool. But I got a feeling this might be a lot of gobbledygook for a lot of students, and they'll just be interested in seeing what we come up with in the end. So, considering that, let's call this thing the key of G flat. If we were just in the key of G flat, pick a chord from G flat or a number from G flat. Go ahead.
Like minor 3?
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
sure.
so I don't. Wait, what am I
Cool.
doing?
That totally works. I know.
I didn't really
tell
know what
you
I was supposed to
ahead of time
do.
on purpose, because
Oh.
minor 3 was a perfect example. So the 3 chord in the key of G flat would be B flat minor. So we're gonna hang out. I can't draw with a crayon on my screen. You won't be able to see that at all, and I won't be able to see for the rest of the. Here we go. B flat minor. We're gonna start with that. That is the minor 3 chord. How many measures do you want that to last?
1?
1, sure. And then what comes after the B, after the 3 chord? We can pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. We probably not gonna pick
5?
7 for now. Okay, so the 5 of G flat is gonna be D flat. Then the next measure, what are we gonna pick? 3, 5. These are totally random.
The
I think
2?
the 2, which is A flat minor, and then give me one more.
Oh, that's gonna be weird. Okay.
Probably.
Um,
And then
and-
what?
like the 1 chord.
The 1 chord. Cool. So we'll go back to G flat right here. So we're gonna play B flat minor. That was the 3 to the 5 to the A flat minor, which is the 2 to the 1. We'll try that with the track. Here we go.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing,
try that again.
Oh, yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it.
This is actually perfect. Yeah, let's go back and do that one more time. There's one thing in there that sounds horrible.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing,
That one.
but some don't know how to handle it.
Yeah, cool. So let's talk about this. Why this is. Everybody's got a thing, but some right here. That doesn't sound as bad as I thought. Let's see, which I was afraid of. So the melody, everybody's got right here. This note is not in the chord that we selected. So we selected a 5 chord, and the melody really hangs out on that note right there, the 1 of the key, a whole
Ooh,
lot.
you could do like a suspended thing.
Ooh, that's really cool. Hang on, let
Oh,
me
no.
describe the problem a little bit more before we use that solution. That's a great solution. Man, yeah, okay, cool. So, so again, this is our chord, and the melody is right here. So that's just not going to work with. It would work on almost any note in the chord or in the key, except for the 4 of the chord. We're on the 1 of the key. Again, if these numbers aren't making sense, the tutorial lessons are really going to help out a whole lot. But that's the reason that one particular one doesn't really work. Is everybody's got right there. It's just sitting right there, and that's the chord we're trying to play. But you are right. If we suspended this thing right here, if we played everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it, that would sound a lot better. Let's try that.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it.
Wonderful. Okay, now I was really expecting some don't know that thing right there to sound terrible, and it really didn't stand out. So I'm not going to try to fix it because it doesn't seem to be a problem. That note right there is outside of the key, that sum right there. So I would expect that one to need some kind of special accommodation with our chords in order for it to work. But the A flat minor was less terrible than I was afraid of. So this D flat over here is going to be a D flat suspended to accommodate the melody. And Kendra, do you remember one way to suspend, like fully suspend 5 chords, or really any chord for that matter? No,
Like
this is
how
not
to
ringing a
do
bell.
it?
Yes,
Well, like I know you
another way of
add
thinking of it.
you move from the 3 to the 4.
Oh,
like,
good. Yes.
of the
Okay.
chord.
Cool. Yeah. So let's do this then. Let's really fully suspend this thing here. So, and this might be the assignment that you need. This is just taking chords, any chord, major chord
Wait,
in any
we're
song.
still little. There, I can't find the thing.
Oh, it says assignment on it.
Where?
On layer 2. We're still learning where all this stuff is. No, definitely
that's not it.
That's the
I
one.
meant.
Yeah.
Oh, there I go.
Go practice this. So anywhere you have a major chord in any of your songs, just trying to suspend them
No,
by
I was
taking
talking
that.
about the sound effect. I thought there was a sound
Oh
effect.
yeah, it's over on the other one. You colored it
Oh.
orange so you wouldn't miss it. So
It's the orange
again,
one.
the assignment is they need this thing more. You're fine. You're doing great. So you take any major chord, take the 3 of the chord or the middle note up a half step. That's called suspended. So practicing that on any of your songs, that could be your own reharmonization. Go practice that. You don't need the rest of the lesson if that seems like that's gonna be a challenge for you. Okay, so
The sound effect should be called assignment, not.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's smart.
I don't know.
Okay, we'll fix that for later.
I'm just-
So then, the other way that you can think of a suspension, if you want like a really big, fully suspended sound, we talked about this a little bit before, is playing the major chord that's a whole step below the root of the chord you're trying to suspend. Again, trying to play the major chord that's a whole step below the root of the chord that you're on. So you take the chord that you're on, let's say D flat. We have a D flat, and then Kendra says, let's suspend it instead of playing that one. That way it'll get that note in there. We go, cool. The root of a D flat is D flat.
Would you play in the left hand?
No.
Like the
No.
Oh.
Hang on.
Oh,
You're
sorry.
way ahead of us all
I'm sorry.
today.
I'm
That's
just.
great. No, caffeine is a wonderful drug
I
for many
never
of us.
had caffeine. I haven't had it today.
Okay, so we take this root and we go down a whole step and we play that major chord. B on top. We still keep this D flat down here. This is a D flat suspended chord, but one way you can think of it is B over D flat. That'll make it really super suspendy. So we're gonna play B flat minor to B over D flat to A flat minor to G flat. So maybe that's your assignment for this lesson, is to just take any song where you have a suspended chord and then try playing. We'll work it out. It'll find its way in here.
I'm so delayed. Okay.
So the take any chord. That's right. The whole point of this thing was to make it easy to pull out assignments. It's just making it more difficult. You're going to take any suspended chord that you have in any other song, and you're going to try playing the major chord that's a whole step below the root of this chord you're trying to suspend. Let's try the track and see what this thing sounds like with all of this.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out in vain, just taking the things not worth having. But
Yeah.
don't
cool.
you worry about
Yeah. And honestly, let's try the same chords, just looping those same 4 chords over and over. This is sometimes referred to as harmonic generalization, where you just kind of, everyone just kind of stays in the same key, and it doesn't really matter if all the notes are matching up exactly. In some cases where it sounds particularly horrible, you fix stuff, but in general, you're just kind of staying generally harmonized in the same key.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out in vain, just taking the things not worth having. But don't you worry about a thing. Ooh, don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
That sounds super not horrible. And all we did was fix one little thing, and everything else was totally random chords from the key of G flat. So with that in mind, the fact that we can do that and just pick them at random, and probably in almost every case where you pick some random chords and it doesn't work out for this song, it's going to be exactly because of that. Just take a look at where the melody is and what the chord is, and probably that's where your conflict is happening. Okay, so let's pick some new chords now, but this time we're going to take a look more specifically at this, what we already have, and break it down. Actually, you know what? Let's do that on the intermediate level, because the advanced level, we are going to get to actually reharming this thing. I think it's going to go terribly, but I know all of you want me to try, and maybe just to laugh at me when I come up with something ridiculous. But anyway, we'll do that in the advanced part of the lesson. But for the intermediate version, I want to take a look at this and try to guess what maybe the original might have looked like before Stevie Wonder went and messed up his own song. Let's go. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out. And if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us. All right, so it's time to transition into the intermediate portion of the lesson, which is a stupid term because we're all intermediate players. Everyone has people who are worse than them. Yes, even you. And everyone has people who are better than them. Yes, even me. So I guess it's just really permission for you to leave the lesson. If you've already found something that you can practice and you can go work on, then go ahead and don't feel bad about taking off. You have not failed if this next part of the lesson doesn't make sense to you. I have failed if the previous part of the lesson didn't make sense to you. So if you still got questions, then feel free to ask those. But if you want to take off and go practice whatever you found in the first part, then that's cool. I won't be offended. As long as you're making progress, we're headed in the right direction. So let's try the next section. Okay, so let's take a look at this thing. I'm going to say that we're in the key of E flat minor. And what happens here is we go from E flat to A flat, which is a cycle move. We go from A flat to D flat, which is a cycle move. by cycle move, I just mean it moves the way that I write out the circle of fifths. It moves counterclockwise in the circle of fifths. So we go from an E flat to an A flat to a D flat to a G flat to a B to an E. These are all cycle moves. So he's just going straight through the circle of fifths, and that lands you a half step above the E flat that you could just use to circle everything back around it. So if I just play the roots only for you of each of the chords, it would go like this with the track.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it.
And then a half step down to...
Always reaching out and they just taking the things not worth having. But don't you worry about a thing.
Okay,
Don't
so
you worry about
moving back, this is E flat minor, and commonly in E flat minor, we would find chords like, for example, A flat minor. We'd also find a lot of B7s. So that'd be the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord of the key of E flat. So now we're going to just use those same chords to kind of get through this thing and keep it all in very much E flat minor-ish without all the cycle move stuff that makes the song sound totally awesome. Here we go. With the track, I'm just going to play ones, fours, and fives.
yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out and they just taking the things not worth having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
Let's go one more time. I think what I'm going to end up with is 1 4 1 5 for most of the songs. I'm going to E flat minor, A flat minor, E flat minor, B flat 7. This is all just, again, stealing the 1 4 5 out of the minor key that this thing seems like it's probably in.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out and they just taking the things not worth having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
Okay, so that's generally E flat minorish, and the same way the other one was generally G flat majorish. But this time, instead of picking random chords in G flat, I'm going to stick with the most common chords in the key of G flat. Again, those numbers are 1, 4, and 5. So it's going to be G flat, B, D flat. Yes. Technically, this one's a C flat. Whatever. Let's try it.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out and they just taking the things not worth having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
Yeah, I don't really like that one as much. I don't think that my melody lined up with the chords. Everybody's got the thing. That should work fine, the 1 and the 4. But, oh, then I needed the 5. So I'm going to go 1, 4, 5, 4. That'll be interesting. Let's try it.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out and they just taking the things not worth having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when
Yeah, okay, so that works a little bit better. Now, the one that I was expecting to be a little bit funky, this guy right here, ends up being weird on that one because we've got the chord G flat, then the 4 chord, and then right here, I'm wanting to play a D flat major, but the melody is the flat version of that. So if I was gonna have Kendra re-sing this to match that, we could change the melody to match the chords. It'd be everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Yeah, that's weird. I hate it. So that's the generalization, though, harmonic generalization in E flat minor and in G flat major. Now let's just try some bass line patterns, because that's some other stuff we can do, which is just Kendra, you're gonna pick for us here. Are we gonna be an E flat minor or G flat major first?
G flat major.
Cool, and we're gonna move up or down. She has no idea what I'm talking about. Up. Yeah, cool. So then I'm just gonna take these root notes here, and I'm gonna play them going straight up through the scale and find some chord that matches with those. We'll try that and see if we can just walk our bass line straight through all of those chords. Maybe it'll work.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out in vain, just taking the things not worth having. But don't you worry about a thing. Ooh, don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
That wasn't horrible. I did move. I got up to the 4, and I didn't feel like I was going to be able to make it, push it all the way through. So I just walked from the 4 back down to the 1. And then after that, don't you worry about a thing. That's when I finally got to climb up with my left hand there. Let's try it one more time. See if I can remember what I did.
Yeah,
That's the 1,
everybody's
2,
got a thing, but some
3,
don't know how to
4,
handle
3,
it.
2,
Always reaching out in vain, just taking the things not
3,
worth
4,
having. But
5,
don't you worry about a
6,
thing.
7, 1.
Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
1. So that was not terrible at all. And that was, again, picking which of the 2 harmonic generalizations we want to do randomly and picking a direction randomly. Now let's try the opposite. We're going to go down, and I'll try to pick chords to go with it. Again, maybe your assignment for today, you made it all the way up to this point with nothing to do yet, but you haven't tried that thing yet. That shows up in all kinds of songs all over the place, just taking any key at all. Your assignment could be to take any key, even the key of C, and just walk straight up and try to find a chord that would go with each of these. The 1 chord, the 5 chord, the 1 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 6 chord, the 5 chord, the 1, and play through them, trying to pick either the 1, the 4, the 5, or the 6 in the right hand, while your left hand goes in a direction on purpose. Okay, cool. So I'm going to try that with the song in the key of G flat. Just watch my left hand. Don't worry about what my right hand is doing. It's just picking chords that go along with the left hand. Left hand's the important one right now. Here we go.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out in vain, just taking the things not worth having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
Of all of them, I think that one fits best so far. One more time. Again, just following my left hand, just going straight through the key pretty much.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle
told you it shows up in a lot of songs. That was like every pop ballad from the late 80s ever. Okay, so then that's the key of G flat walking up and walking down. This is just paying attention to the bass lines. Kendra, pick the number 2, 3, 4, or 5.
5.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to now use the. Oh, I'm glad you didn't pick 2 because we just did all the 2s. Just now we're moving by seconds. We're going from the 1 to the 2 to the 3. So we were just moving to the next note over. Now I'm gonna move from the 1 to the 5. So moving up 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Counting the note that I started on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my first chord is gonna be a G flat. My next chord is gonna be a D flat. My next chord is gonna be an A flat. My next chord is gonna be an E flat. So I'm just moving up the scale, but instead of moving 1 note at a time, I'm moving up 4 notes or a fifth at a time. Let's try that. This is gonna be weird.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out and
Go another one.
just taking the things not worth having.
I'll fix it.
But
I think.
don't
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out and just taking the things that we're having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
I don't like that one as much either, but again, it was a random number, and it was not. I don't know. I didn't feel horrible-ish to me. Just not my preference. So that's you can pick almost any pattern down here is kind of the point, and as long as it feels predictable where it's going next, then that's going to work out. Now, one of the reasons I don't like this and it's not as strong a move as the rest of them is because in the circle of fifths, if I go from the 1 to the 5, that's the opposite of the way the circle of fifths wants to go. The circle of fifths wants to go from the 5 to the 1. So everything that I did was like, if the circle of fifths is the smoothest moves you could possibly make musically, this is the opposite of the smoothest moves. It was taking the smoothest move possible and going against the grain of the circle of fifths. So that's why for me, like none of the chords, I didn't land on anything and felt like, oh yeah, that was a really nice resolution. So let's try one last thing, and that is going through the circle of fifths. We didn't do anything in E flat minor. That's all right. We got time. So I'm just gonna go through the circle of fifths, starting on the 7. That way I can get through all of the notes in the key. So we go 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 4. That is all of the notes. Those are going to be all my roots. That's every possible root in the key of G flat. I'm going to start with this. I don't think I'm going to like that, but whatever. So it's going to be 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 4. Let's see if we can get through all those. That's going to be 7 chords. I might need to cram one of them in. Here we go.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out and just taking the things that we're having. But don't you worry about a thing.
No, the chords are all moving smoothly, but it doesn't match with the melody at all. Let's try maybe starting on the 3 instead of the 7.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out and just taking the things that we're having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
Okay. So I went 3, 6, 2, 5 at the beginning and just loop that 3, 6, 2, 5, and then went 4, and then 1 over 3, just back and forth. Keep that bass as non-movie as possible. we haven't done the E flat thing yet. So Kendra could have picked, we're going to be in the key of E flat minor, and we're going to move down, which is kind of what the song already does. Because that thing. But then what happens if this thing continues to move down? Everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. I think that might work out just by saying the words and playing it. Let's try it once.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle
It takes some work.
always reaching out in vain, just taking the things not worth having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
Okay, so let me put some work into this here. So, trying to get this thing to just, we're going down chromatically, we're not going down according to the key. Because that's the way the song starts out. Everybody's got a thing. That's what he already does. Last time we said this could be B minor, or it could be the suspension of G flat. So everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Handle it. This could be the 4 and 3 of E7. So I gotta try to remember this. We're going E flat. Just everything's built on this thing instead of building everything based on the bass line like we've done for the last several attempts through the song. We're gonna base it on this chromatic harmonic move, one of the what we call inner voices, meaning that it's not the top thing, it's not the melody, it's not the bass line, but it's something kind of in the middle-ish. So everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. I think that's going to work out. That's scarily, eerily close to the chords that are actually already there. 1, 2.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out in vain, just taking the things not worth having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
I gotta get that one. Everybody's got a thing. Yes, we're good so far. Then, but some don't know how to handle it. Okay, we'll try that one more time. So, and again, the reason that I can do that, what we talked about last time was you can use this half step thing. If this is the 1 of a minor chord, or if this is the 3, the 1 and the 7 of a minor chord, or if it's the 3 and the 4, the 4 and the 3 of a dominant chord. So this could be the 4 and the 3 of B flat 7. So this works as E flat minor or the 4 and 3 of B flat 7. Or none of that made sense, and that's fine. Just listen. We're going to go E flat, A flat 7, G flat 7, E7. Once more.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out in vain, just taking the things not worth having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
That kind of works, actually. And that's not terribly far from what he's got anyway. He already goes from E flat to an A flat to a D flat minor to G flat 7. So all we've really done is take out the D flat minor and go to the G flat, and then we go to a B major 7. That's the only one that's really super left out, because then it does go to an E7 after that. It's just got a flat 5 in it. That's a lot of stuff, and we still ain't done because we haven't actually reharmonized this thing. We've only deharmonized it so far. So let's go to the advanced level and see if we can make this thing a little bit weirder. Let's go. And here comes the part of the lesson where I guess everybody has permission to not understand what in the world is going on. If you have understood everything so far, then great, stick with us. We probably won't even get to all the material in this lesson because there's always more on every topic. So if you have questions about what would be after this, then feel free to message me privately and I'll send you some of that stuff. But for right now, let's just get crazy and see how far we can get today. Okay, I'm afraid. Why don't we just leave well enough alone? Okay, here we go. For all of you who are like, yes, finally, he's doing the reharmonization. This is going to be awesome. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Why be so negative? Kendra, we're going to need your help on this one. A lot of the stuff that we say you're supposed to do to reharmonize a song, we are already doing. So we already tried the thing where we change stuff around based on the melody, and then we use suspended chords there. So we're not going to go through that one. And we changed the chord quality where the melody wasn't 3. So we've already done a lot of the melody stuff. We haven't added any passing diminished chords. We haven't pedaled anything in the bass. We did use some slash chords and inversions. And then we're already adding 6s, 7s, and 9s because they're just already in the song. So we need you to pick something else in here that looks interesting, or
Which
just pick a
section
number
should
between.
I pick one from?
Pick a number between 1 and 10.
7.
7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why would we pick randomly like this? Why not plan ahead, Jamin? Everything's going to sound better then. Because then you don't get into the augmented dominant chords. Okay. Why are you laughing at me?
No, I would never.
So this right here is a 7 chord. This one also is a 7 chord. Let's go ahead and just augment both of those. Here we go. So an A flat 7 chord is this. We're going to use this one right here. And augmented just means a raised 5. So it's a major chord with a raised 5. That's the 1, the 3, and the 5. We're going to raise that. So man, I can't hear the original song. We've screwed it so much. No. Everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Okay. Let's see if I can remember that.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it.
Wait, I messed up. Some don't know how to handle it. Okay.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out and right, just taking the things that we're having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you
Okay.
worry
Down
about a
here.
thing,
We also have,
mama.
an G flat 7 right there. Mama, because I'll be standing. Another augmented chord right here. When you check it, and we could augment that one too, because really that's just a C7 suspended. But we're gonna augment it also. So we're gonna play C7 augmented suspended. That's not a good idea. We're gonna just stick with the augmented 7. Okay, all of them augmented on every dominant chord that we've had. One more time.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out and right, just taking the things that we're having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you take it out.
Okay, so a lot of these sound goofy to me. They sound, especially, I like the A flat. That one. Everybody's got a it kind of hints at that E that we're about to see in the middle. But no, some don't know, some don't know. So I like that one. When we get to some don't know, like that just feels kind of goofy to me. So, but this is the feeling of the augmented dominant chord. It's like really super suspenseful and weird and flavorful, and it gets a lot of attention because it's really out of the ordinary because it's an augmented chord. So maybe your assignment is to just go through any song that you know where you already have a 5 chord or a dominant chord, and then just try to augment it and see what it sounds like. If it's in the context of a band, don't do it with them because it's going to sound really weird and no one else is going to play the augmented chord. It's just going to sound like you messed up. However, there are times though where, especially as a keyboardist, like the rest of the band will cut out and you'll have your own time where it's just you. You're the only person holding it up, and that's a great time to throw in anything that you want to because there's no one else holding you back at that point. So. These augmented chords, don't experiment it with a live audience. But if you're in practice or whatever, and you got that chance to just try out some of that stuff, if you got a 5 chord, which means like a G in the key of C, or a D in the key of G, or any of that stuff, then trying out this dominant 7 or this augmented 7 chord, or if there's one that just says something 7. Raise the 5 on it. See what it sounds like. It might sound super awesome. It might sound kind of corny like that our G flat does. Let's try this one more time, and then maybe we'll throw in another thing or two from Kendra's random list.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out and they just taking things not worth having. But don't you worry about a thing.
Also, I should point out here, this one that we've been playing this whole time is an augmented dominant chord. It's a B flat dominant augmented. Yeah, right? Because that'd be a B flat chord, and then you augment it, and you throw on your 7, it's just over E. This ain't on the list, folks, but we're going to try using that same principle. Take our dominant augmented chord, and instead of playing the root of the chord, like in this case it would be B flat, we're going to try playing the note that is between the 3 and the 5, the 4 of the chord, which, it'd be like a raised 4, which is a tritone away. Yeah. So, this is going to be an A flat dominant, A flat augmented 7 over not A flat. We're going to play this chord, but instead of playing the root, we're going to play a D right here. I feel like, I'll have to take care of the root here also, because otherwise I won't have, if I move the root, now I've got to include it in the right hand, because someone's got to take care of the root of the chord. So it's going to be a flat 7 augmented over D, because that's what he did with his E7 flat 5, is really a B flat augmented over E. Yes, we are thinking about this too much. Everybody's got a thing, but some don't know. Is going to be this chord right here. Rawr. Know how to handle it. Everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. And yes, if you were keeping track of my left hand there, it does mean that that just moves by half steps, which is what we were trying to do before. But because I wasn't using funky chords like augmented dominant chords over tritone subs, we didn't come up with anything nearly this. This is probably what you showed up for. Like, wow, all these really awesome, crazy chords. It's really hard to play. Ready, set.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching
That sounded
out
really
and
cool. I
begging.
just didn't play the right timing. Some don't know how to handle it. If I play it right, I think this is going to be the most awesome version yet. You were all right, and I was wrong. I was just being pessimistic, whatever that word is, sad about it. And then you all knew. Let's reharmonize this thing. It'll be cool. If I can play it.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out and begging, just taking the things that we're having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
I gotta get this again. Yeah, that was not right.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out and begging, just taking the things that we're having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
I want to go again. No, I almost have this.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out and begging, just taking the things that we're having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
Okay, so that's a thing. We just augment all the dominant chords, and we end up with that cool half-step mess. All right, Kendra, they all win. I lose. Here we go. One more. I need a number between 1 and 15 approximately.
13.
Two
Just to
5
make
tritone
things difficult. I'm just
substitutions.
kidding.
Okay.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Yep. I didn't even look at the thing.
Okay. Well, we're going to do it. So that's anytime you have a
You know,
tritone
maybe those
substitution.
things shouldn't be on the list.
No, this will be fun.
Oh, good.
So
Best
we
of
could
luck.
take any tritone sub, which now we have plenty of. Honestly, if I just write it out for you, any of the augmented chords that we just did, because it's a G flat augmented over B, which is really if you take a look at those notes, it's no, that's wrong. Over C is where we land. Good. Okay. So this is really a C7 flat 5. So we're gonna 2-5 this bad boy. We're gonna play the 2 of that 5. Do I want to treat it like a minor 2-5 or a major? No, we'll go major. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take any of these chords. Oh, good heavens, this is going to be crazy. I'm going to treat this like the 5 and say, what would the 2 be? I'm going to treat this like the 5 and say, what would the 2 be? I'm going to treat, I guess that's all of them except for over here. Don't you worry about a thing. Right here, I'm going to treat this like the 5 and say, what would the 2 be? And then over here, I'm going to treat this like the 5. We have another one here too. This is so brutal. She had to pick 13. Okay, so on this one, Kendra, this is a D7 flat 5, essentially. What would the 2 be if D was the 5?
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're
So
gonna.
what key are we in again? G
Doesn't
flat?
matter.
Oh wait.
Doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Okay.
The key's way out the window. That was gone a long time ago. So this D right here, if that was the 5, what would the 2 be?
If the D is the 5,
D
what would
is
the
the
2 be?
5,
Oh,
what's the
oh,
2?
got it. The A.
Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it'd be like
Okay.
a 2, 5, 1 in the key of G. 2, 5, 1. So we're gonna go A minor 7 to D 7 flat 5, or what we have written out as A flat augmented 7 over D. So we're gonna go A minor 7 to whatever you want to call that chord to D minor. Everybody's got a thing, but some don't know. Now on this one here, this is a C chord. So if C was the 5, what would the 2 be, Kendra? You got us into this mess. You got to get us out. Okay, you're here. You're here for keeps. Okay,
Thought I could
that's
just
the
run.
5. What's the 2?
The 2 is G.
Nice. So
Or
it's a 2,
unless
5,
depending
1.
on what key you're in. But yeah.
So we want a G minor. No, not depending on what key you're in.
Oh,
No matter what.
It's just okay. Got it.
If that's the 5,
Okay.
that's got to be the 2.
Got it.
And that'd have to be the 1. 2, 5, 1.
Okay.
We're not actually going to get to the 1. We're just going to do the 2, 5 part of a 2, 5, 1. So we're going to go G minor to G flat augmented 7 over C. It takes so much longer to say than to play. I need like a half hour to practice before we play. Everybody's got a thing. But some don't know how to handle it. I guarantee you there are half a dozen people who think this is the most awesome thing in the universe. Maybe they're right. And if I played it correctly, we could all find out the genius of it. I don't think that's going to happen. Let's find out.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out and right, just taking the things that we're having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
Let me try again. I'm not sure I got the G7. I gotta get that one down. Everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Okay.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some
That
don't
definitely
know
wasn't right. One more
how
time.
to handle.
Oh no, what? Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's
trying to throw me
got
off.
a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out and right, just taking the things that we're having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
Okay. We got time for one last one. You're gonna pick a number
Oh.
between 1 and 15. Go.
3.
3. Please be easy. Walk ups and walk downs. Unfortunately, we already did that one. I
Oh.
just didn't cross it
Oh.
off. Okay, pick a different one.
Okay. 14.
14. Dominant polychords. The flat 3, the flat 5, or the flat 6 or the 6. Sure, why not? So this is the same concept. It's taking dominant chords and altering them.
Have fun.
Thanks. No. You're here, friend. You're here. So we're gonna take
Oh,
that
I
7.
can just
We gotta
stay.
go back. Okay, so then it's dominant polychords, built on the 2, the flat 3, the flat 5, the flat 6, or the 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the dominant chord. We're going to add in the major triad that is either 2 or flat 3 or flat 5 or flat 6 or 6. You got to pick 3 of these for me. Which one do you want to do?
Flat 6.
Flat 6. No problem.
Flat 3.
Flat 3 and
2.
2. Okay, so we're going to go 2, flat 3, flat 6. We'll go on the first 3 dominant chords we run into. This one right here. So it's an A flat, but the 2 of an A flat would be a...
B flat.
Nice. So we're going to play a B flat triad on top of an A flat 7 chord. Everybody's got a thing. I kind of like it. I'd especially like if it was slower. Yeah. Yeah. So then the next one is this one, which was a, what do we say, a flat 3?
Sure.
So
yes.
it's a G flat 7 chord, and the flat 3 of G flat is...
Oh, you're quizzing me. I don't know what a flat 3 is. It like
okay,
an
so what's
A
the
or
3?
something?
Yeah,
Well,
so
it's
the
a
3 would be a B
B
flat.
flat.
And so this is a flat 3. So now
That's gonna be like minor.
that's gonna sound all funky. Yeah. So an A over G flat 7, and then the last one we have is this E7 right here, and we said we're gonna build that on the what?
The 2?
No,
Oh.
this is the 2 over here.
Then I don't.
The flat 6.
Oh.
I think is what we
yes.
said. So then the flat 6 of, what would the 6 of E be?
Oh, I was supposed to say
Cool.
D flat.
Yeah, all right, cool. And then C sharp technically. And then the
sorry.
flatted 6 would be this. That's
Interesting.
So a C over. I'm assuming that means I hate it.
No.
That's
That's not what I
unique.
said. That's not
Okay.
what. I do not hate it.
You picked it,
It
not me.
sounds great. I love it.
Everybody's got a thing, but some don't. Yeah. Some don't know how to handle it, and then even C over E7. I don't think I'm going to like these at this speed. I think if we slowed it down a whole lot, these sound a lot cooler. But, well, whatever. Let's try it.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how
I can't do that one. A flat over G flat 7.
Always read.
But some don't know. But some don't know how to handle it. We'll see. It might take me a couple tries.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it.
That just sounds wrong.
Always reaching out in vain, just taking the things that we're having.
Hang on. I
Don't
gotta
you worry.
stop. I've got to find a nice transition. So, some don't. That'll work. Some don't know how to handle it. Yeah, that'll work. So everybody's got a thing. Yeah. Everybody's got a thing, but some don't know. Some don't know how to handle it. That's the weirdest one of all of them. Okay, I think I can do this.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out in vain, just taking the things that we're having.
That's the important one. That's what I'm missing. Okay.
Don't you worry.
Some don't know.
about
Stop! Some don't know. Some don't know how to handle it. One more time.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing, but some don't
So we picked up some really wild, crazy things. Hopefully, somewhere in there, despite our sound effects and overlays, you found an assignment that you like. And we will catch you next week when we do the soloing one, where we're going to take not that weird rearranged thing, but take the original chords and create a solo over it. Hopefully a Stevie Wonder-esque solo, but we'll see what we come up with, just like this week. Till next time, love you. Bye.